Hi guys, welcome back if you are returning. Welcome if this is your first time stopping by. If you are newly subscribed, welcome and thank you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to hit that red button and join the family. Today I'm bringing you this recipe for a no-knead bread. God bless the person who came up with it. It's so easy and quick, but you have to think ahead because you need at least 12 hours to rise it. I usually make a mixture of whole wheat and white, but today I'm doing 2 loaves, one completely whole wheat and one completely white. 3 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of yeast, and for me I use between 3/4 and 1 teaspoon of salt. So I am mixing that in now. For my whole wheat version, I'm using a white whole wheat flour. If you're not a big fan of whole wheat, you can start out trying that because it has a milder flavor and it's lighter in color. For the white, I'm using all-purpose unbleached flour because I believe that the less processing of your food, the better. Just going to give that a really good whisk together. For this whole wheat version, because I haven't made a full whole wheat, I'm adding some coconut oil and some honey to see if it helps make the loaf softer. So I have 1 tablespoon of each melted, and I'm adding that to my water. Your water just needs to be room temperature. So I took that out of the refrigerator filter last night and just let it sit on the counter. I'm going to just mix that in and mix it until it forms a dough. We're going to do the same for the white as well. After I made this batch, I also made a cinnamon raisin loaf. I'll show you that at the end. So you just need some plastic wrap, cover this and let it sit on your counter for at least 12 hours. I've done it for 12, for 14, and for 16. I think that you just get a spongier loaf the longer that you let it rise. So here we have it the next morning. You need a Dutch oven to bake these, but I'm using a loaf pan today for the first time. There's my cast iron pot that I've designated for this bread because it's chipped on the inside. And there's the loaf pan I'm going to be using for the first time. So all you want to do is just add some flour to your dough, give it a mix just to form it into the shape that you want. I set the oven at 450 degrees. You want to put your baking containers in the oven while it's preheating because you want them hot before you put the dough in. So I've molded that one into a round, dropped it in the hot cast iron pot. Please be very careful. And then I'm going to just mold the loaf and put that in. Since this dish doesn't have a lid, I'm going to be using a piece of foil just to lightly cover it. Toss that in the oven, set your timer to 30 minutes. And after 30 minutes, this is what usually happens for me. The recipe calls for you to open it up and let it brown, but mine usually ends up being brown. As you can see, the white loaf kicked off the foil as it was rising, which is why you don't want to cover it too tightly. Now let's look at the whole wheat loaf and see how that's looking. Beautiful. So I'm going to take these out. If yours is not brown enough at this point, then take off the lids and let them sit in the oven for a few more minutes. And then just get them out and put them on a cooling rack. If you're like me and love hot bread, you'll want to dig into this, but do not give in to temptation. We'll let these cool and then I'll cut into them for you. There is our whole wheat loaf. It was quite good. It was soft enough for me. Let's cut into the white, which of course was much softer. They were both very delicious. And now I'll show you what I did with the cinnamon raisin loaf. I just mixed in about 3/4 of a cup of raisins, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 2 teaspoons of brown sugar into my flour, and then I added the water and did the same process and baked it, and it came out looking beautiful. It was nice and soft and very delicious. So let me show it to you cut into. There you have it. Give this a shot, guys, and let me know what you think, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.